Hello everyone and welcome back to Disc Golf Examiner. Today we're bringing you coverage from North Boundary Park in Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania. I'm your host Brian Keegan, joined today by Tournament Director of the Butler County Disc Golf Classic, Matt Rosier. Matt, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, Brian. Really looking forward to previewing the course here for everyone coming into town this coming weekend.
That's right, and for those who have never played North Boundary before, we're talking about 10,000 playable feet, and we're talking up and down hilly elevation through the woods. This is going to be a real test of endurance and stamina for a lot of players. The MPO field is going to be playing a par 71, and they're going to be playing gold tees. The FPO will be a par 72. They'll be playing a mix between whites and blues. So as we see here, we're on hole 1. It's a par 4. It is 692 feet.
Yeah, so we start off here and maybe thinking that your round is going to be nice, wide open, long bomber field shots, just like hole 1. This is such a beautiful starting hole. Right away, par 4, you need a lot of distance to get up to the landing zone. We do have out of bounds on both the left and the right. There are walking paths, so if the wind picks up, a couple discs could get thrown either left or right. Find that out of bounds, but for the most part, people should be landing right there in the fairway. See after the landing zone, a lot of tight trees. It's going to be the theme here at North Boundary. Nice tight up shot, and right to the basket here is par 4 for your first hole.
Yeah, and par 2 is not too far away, just a short walk. It is a par 4, and it is 513. The first shot is going to be through this gap here, pretty tight.
Yeah, it's both a tight gap left and right. This tree on the right tends to collect a lot of discs, but it's also quite a bit uphill right out the bat. So you are going to have to throw a little nose up to get out of here, out into this gap, find the landing zone. There is a path on the right, walking trail once again. That's going to be out of bounds on all holes on and over. And we also do have a hospitality tent down there for the Butler County Disc Golf Classic. So be sure to head down there during the tournament, check out food vendors and all sorts of other things. Also behind the basket, there is another walking trail. So if you do leak your drive a little long, we'll have that painted out of bounds as well. All of the out of bounds here at North Boundary is just playable from where the disc went out of bounds.
And hole 3 is a doozy. It is a par 4, 505, and it plays up this gigantic hillside.
Yeah, you may be licking your chops, seeing, it's only 505 feet. But from the gold tee, this is actually 123 feet uphill. So if your legs aren't warmed up, they're definitely going to be warmed up after this hole. No out of bounds to be had here. Just pretty much an open field, and then after your first shot, you're going to duck into the woods. Basket will be up on the right from the gap. Uphill the entire way. Like I said, 123 feet uphill, so hopefully you got your hiking boots on.
Yeah, all of it is uphill. And after the uphill, it's nice to have a nice downhill hole. Hole 4 is a par 3. It is 223 feet down the hill here.
Yeah, you just walked all the way up the hill. After you play hole 3, you have to actually walk uphill a little bit more to get to the tee pad of hole 4. So you may be a little out of breath, but you do get a break here with a short par 3 coming down through the woods. Speed control is definitely going to be important, as well as hitting your line through all these tight gaps. Once again, if you go a little long on the drive, there is a walking path that's out of bounds.
So as we move down across the field to hole 5, it is a par 4. It is 623 feet. And once again, it looks open here.
Yeah, the first drive or the first shot you're going to want to throw is pretty open, like you said. Just driving straight. Once again, there's a little hill off the tee pad, so you can't really go straight at it. You're going to have to throw a little uphill. Once again, if you have long arms, could throw far, there is out of bounds straight ahead, right off the tee, maybe 450 feet off the tee. Once you hit the landing zone, you're going to have to take a hard turn right through the woods. and up to the basket up here. It's on a sloped green, so you definitely want to make sure that your shot lands flat and doesn't get a bad roll.
And hole 6 is just a short walk away to the right of the basket here. You can actually see back along hole 5 there. But hole 6 is a par 5. It is 871 feet. And this one plays down across this ravine here, tightly wooded still.
Oh yeah, very tightly wooded. We're really getting into the holes that make North Boundary here. This is the first par 5 on the course, only 871 feet. So I'm excited to see if we can get any eagles here, but it's still a tough one. A lot of trees, plenty of gaps to hit, but you still need to make your way clear through these trees. On the drive, as you mentioned, there's a little gully, so if you do hit one of the early trees and drop into that gully, you're going to be scrambling really hard. So after the gully, there's the first landing zone, and from there you're just going to try to want to work your way through these trees. Like I said, they're looks pretty tight here on the footage, and in person I'm thinking it's even tighter. So
Yeah.
basically just find your way through the trees, find the fairway, work your way down here, and we have a beautiful green new structure that was built for this tournament that really has that basket just sitting perfectly out there. Looks great.
Absolutely stunning.
And actually, I'd like to mention right behind it is a learn to play course. It's actually an ADA accessible course, 6 holes. So you can head out there to warm up, and it's a great learning course as well if you want to practice your putters or up shots.
Yeah, very special. I want to say a very special thank you to Patrick Jackson for getting the overview shots for us. Really, he's getting really good at getting these tight shots. As we move on to hole 7, par 3, 248 feet uphill and tightly wooded.
Yeah, so this plays next to hole 3. So the hill that we walked up to on hole 3 just a short while ago, we're now playing it up as a par 3 here at hole 7. This one goes uphill 58 feet. So even at 248 feet, people are going to have to throw a little bit higher speed disc to try to get up here.
And there is OB on the left-hand side with the trail.
Correct. Yeah. If you kick off an early tree, you can find that out of bounds off to the left.
So you're going to see those quarry rocks as kind of a staple at the course. Looks really beautiful. Hole 8 is a par 5, 702 feet, and this one plays out across the hillside and up over to the right.
Yeah, coming into our second par 5 of the round. Once again, 702 feet, so not the longest, but a lot of tight fairways here. Off the tee, there is a mandatory on the right side. It normally doesn't come into play, but this is to prevent players from playing up on hole 17. If you do miss the mandatory, your next throw will be from the white tee with a 1-stroke penalty. And there is a walking path down the entire left side of the hole and down behind the basket. It is kind of difficult to get to, but once again, any tree kicks or rollaways, we can find that out of bounds, and just normal out of bounds rules apply here. So once you work your way all the way through the trees, hopefully in 3 shots, you can have a putt for birdie.
And hole 9 is just down the hill from there. It's a par 3, 493 feet. And this one is one of my favorites. It's definitely a really great hole in the course to perhaps grab a birdie.
Yeah, absolutely. After walking up all these hills on the first 8 holes, we finally come to a big downhill hole at 493 feet. Maybe a little hard to reach, but actually we're 100 feet downhill. So a lot of big shots coming down the hill, trying to park this basket. Out of bounds is going to be on the gravel walking path early left, and then that fence line that you can see. The fence is going to be the out of bounds line. So if you do go out of bounds there or need a meter relief, you'll be taking that 1 meter off of the fence as opposed to the walking path. And that line will be painted, so it'll be obvious what the out of bounds is there.
And you can really see how that basket is on that protruding rock. Definitely a difficult putting situation.
Yeah, you definitely want to make sure that your putting game is on out here.
So hole 10 is across the field. You're going to have 2 practice baskets you pass. And this is a par 4, 605. And once again, now you're playing across the hill here.
Yeah, this hole is pretty tight hole once again. A lot of this is a theme out here at North Boundary. So just trying to hit your gap through the fairway. Off the drive, it's going to be a kind of a low shot, but once again, a couple paths. Pick your poison here, find the gap, and just make your way through the hole. There is a rough down to the right that I've found quite a few times that definitely recommend not going down there.
I know that there will be a spectator path down there too, so that'll definitely be an area you'll want to stay away from. Hole 11 is a par 5. It is 855, and honestly, when I come to this course, I kind of dread this hole the most.
Yeah, very tough par 5. This drive is going to be a straight shot right through this gap. Once again, hitting any trees left or right is going to kick you into a bad spot. So once again, clean drives are the name of the game here. It doesn't seem like it when you're playing it. This hole is actually 80 feet uphill, so it's much more gradual than any of the other holes that we've played so far that go uphill. So working your way through here, there is no OB on the fairways, but there is a walking trail behind the basket. So once again, on and over that walking trail are going to be out of bounds, and the hole here is up on a hillside. So you want to make sure that you can stick on this hillside. We do have a rock structure that gives a nice flat ground right around the basket, but landing anywhere but there could cause a roll away and cost you a stroke.
Yeah, and just to show you a little bit about how uphill this particular shot is, this is at eye level from below the basket. So kind of gives you just an idea of how uphill this gets at the end of the hole. And then you'll follow the trail up the hill to hole 12, which is a par 3, 321 feet. And you'll finally get to throw downhill for this shot. Straight downhill, really.
Yeah, after hole 11, like you said, you walk uphill more to this hole. So similar to hole 4, after playing hole 3, you may be a little winded. So I have a couple benches up here at the tee pad, so make sure to take a break and enjoy being out in the woods here before throwing downhill. This hole is downhill 69 feet, so once again, speed control and hitting the gaps to try to get down to the basket is imperative. Basket is kind of perched on the little edge of a cliff down here at the bottom, so running any putts and airballing that could go for quite a long ways down, as well as tee shots that give the basket a run.
And hole 13 is a par 3, 285 feet. And this plays out across the little dip in the hillside here over to the tip of the other hill. And it's on a raised platform.
Yeah, pretty straightforward hole. There is the out of bounds walking path to the right, but that really shouldn't come into play on this hole. So once again, just hit the gap. Basket is a little bit to the right. Pretty straightforward par 3.
And hole 14, par 4, 599. This one again plays through these trees and out across to the opposing hillside. And up a little bit more than that, actually.
Yeah, it's a little shorter par 4, just 599 feet, and it's only uphill 28 feet. So good chance for a birdie here if you can, once again, keep your drive and your upshot clean. Basically just throwing straight off the tee pad, hitting the gap, landing on this trail somewhere, anywhere to be in the fairway, and then just throwing your upshot. Once again, there's a walking trail to the right. It's quite a ways from the basket, so I don't really expect anyone to find it. And there is a muddy area down to the left of the fairway, which is casual relief.
Hole 15 is up the hill a little bit. You'll find a nice staircase to lead you up there. It is a par 4 and it is 654 feet.
Yeah, it's very, very similar to hole 14, where you have a straight to right turning shot off the drive. Once you get to the landing zone, you're going to turn right a little bit and just make your way up the fairway. I think this is one of the most beautiful fairways here in Pittsburgh. The great gaps to hit, and it just takes a nice, good straight throw to make it through all the trees and get up here for your birdie. Once again, this hole is definitely on a side hill, so you really want to make sure that you land your up shots as flat as possible and can keep the disc as close to the basket as you can.
Yeah, and then hole 15, in order to get up to 16, you have to go up this staircase here. Very nicely built by the course promoters. I want to say a very special thank you to Doug Cloutier, Jeremiah Libby, and everybody else, Gary Dropcho, who all have put in so much time to make this course so beautiful. Thank you, guys. As we move on to hole 16, it's a par 5 and it is 811 feet. This one is a long one. It is really long and really tightly wooded, and I feel like I've been saying that the whole time.
Yeah, that is definitely the theme here at North Boundary. 811 feet is kind of short for a par 5, but I can almost guarantee you that you're going to hit a tree on this hole. The fairways are extremely tight, and there's a couple different lanes that I found through here, and I think once people get out and play the course, there's obviously the lane that you can take here that the drone is showing. I think there's 2 other inside lanes that can also be taken all the way to the basket. There is a mandatory on the left side of the fairway, generally comes into play off the tee if you hit a tree, but it's mostly to prevent people from throwing up hole 15's fairway. So if you do miss that mandatory, your next shot will be from the white tee with a 1-stroke penalty. There's also out of bounds on the drive just to the right. Once again, pretty much only if you hit a tree and kick down to the right. Just something that people should be aware of. That's going to be on and over the walking path as well. And once again, a side slope for the basket.
And hole 17 is right across the fairway. It is a par 4, 579 feet, and we're playing. This is about as flat as it gets here at this course.
Yeah, this tee shot is, like you said, very flat. Nice wide fairway till we get all the way down here at the end, but not really any out of bounds here. We are playing the shortest pin on this hole, so the out of bounds path down behind the baskets probably shouldn't come into play for most folks. But the basket is, once again, kind of precariously perched up here on a structure, so any missed putts have a chance to roll down and have a tough comeback putt to save a birdie or hopefully not a bogey or double.
Yeah, this definitely is a fun position for it. Definitely that hill comes into play 100%. I've seen it multiple times.
Yeah.
So from hole 17, you're just going to be walking down the hill to the right there to hole 18. This is a great finishing hole. It's a par 4. It is 742 feet, and this is mostly downhill. At least your first shot.
I mean, I think all of the shots are going to be downhill until you really approach the green. This goes downhill 113 feet through the woods. Pretty straight through the gap to start on your drive, and then you're going to have to get the disc to start moving left to turn down the fairway. If you go a little long, the rough can really get pretty rough, and it's a tight battle to fight through that. If you do hyzer out down to the left, there's a right-hand backhand. There is a muddy area down there. You do get casual relief from that mud. Similarly, there's a little wet patch in front of the basket down at the bottom of this hill where you will get casual relief from as well. But once again, just working your way down through the fairway, making it up to the basket. and hopefully putting in for the birdie to win the tournament. This will be a great finishing hole, and we can definitely see some strokes swinging back and forth here on the final hole, and can make for a really exciting finish.
Yeah, we've seen it before in previous tournaments. This has just been a great finishing hole, and it's a real separator.
Yeah, I definitely have not felt safe with a multiple stroke lead coming into this hole. So we're really excited to see how the top pros come out here and play hole 18 and the rest of North Boundary. This is the first big tournament that we've had coming out to North Boundary, and really looking forward to people coming out and shooting really hot.
And that's going to do it for our course preview of North Boundary Park in preparation for the Disc Golf Pro Tour Silver Series event, the Butler County Disc Golf Classic. I've been your host, Brian Keegan. I want to thank you for joining us. If you'd like to buy tickets to attend, you can still do so. I'll put a link in the description. Rosier, anything you'd like to say before we go as the tournament director?
No, I mean, the biggest thing is just a huge thank you to all the volunteers that have come out to the course and gotten the course ready. It's in the best shape that it's ever been in, and I'm really excited to have all the pros come out and play on this really challenging track. I'm excited to see how they shoot, and it's going to be great for the Pittsburgh disc golf community to basically see all their work be used, and it'll be a great time out here.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Everybody should have fun. Remember to pack water.
Waters and chairs.
Yes, waters and chairs. It will help you get around, and walking stick if you need it, definitely. All right, well, that's going to do it for our coverage. And until next time, guys, keep banging those chains.